Alrighty, welcome to my crouch boosting tutorial. I'll just be showing you crouch boosting. Pretty much a simple explanation on how to do them, as you can see here. They're not too complicated, actually. They're actually pretty simple. They're just pretty difficult to perform consistently without a lot of practice, so you do want to practice a lot when making them. Well, not making them, performing them. I can't use the correct words today. So, simply, what crouch boosting is, for some reason in this game, crouching on the ground as soon as you land while having speed and holding the run button actually boosts you a little bit. You can see it just slide there. And then it gives you a little bit of speed increase. It's a multiplier too, so the more you do, the more consecutive speed that you gain. You can see it right there. So when you jump right after performing one, you see you can gain the speed and preserve it and keep on gaining it. When you combine with vectoring, it's even more powerful. Now, this is not the greatest example of vectoring. It could be better. I'm not very good at vectoring. I can vector a little bit. Not very much. There's obviously people better at it than me. As well as crouch boosting, especially. So yeah, there isn't much to crouch boosting. You need to, when you land, you want to crouch boost, hold the crouch button a little bit, under half a second, not too much, and then jump. You don't want to hold the A and the crouch button at the same time, otherwise you'll long jump just like that. You don't want to do it too early because you'll ground pound, and you obviously don't want to do that either because you lose all your speed. Now a long jump is a lot better to accidentally perform because you'll still actually maintain the previous momentum through it as soon as you get back up and continue to actually jump. Now, another mechanic of these is on slopes. They're more powerful. You gain a lot more speed doing them on slopes. More specifically, slopes you can't slide on, so you can consecutively do them on slopes and gain more speed. You would not doing them on slopes. You also can't really do crouch boosts that good uphill. They don't give you much of a boost, and they're really hard to maintain momentum if you do one. Because one, you won't really gain any speed, but you'll probably end up losing it too. If I can show you that. Unless you're on the very end of that and you just get lucky. So there isn't much to crouch boosting. There is other mechanics of it, such as ice glitch. You might want to know those as well. You've probably seen ice glitch. It's a mechanic of crouch boosting, actually. So for example, we'll just go into 3-1 really quickly.
Hello, let's go.
You see how I mashed A there? Not A, the crouch button. And gained a ton of momentum from the ice. Technically, I was crouch boosting. The reason why that happens is the result of crouch boosting. This is because ice is slippery. You see here, I'm not holding the analog stick. And I'm slipping and sliding and still continuing to move. And because of this, I can still crouch, and it'll keep on sliding me because it keeps on pushing me forward. And with the because ice is slippery, I can just keep on consecutively doing them and build up tons of speed. and often can gain large amounts of momentum. So that's just a mechanic of them. Another mechanic of them is edge boosting. So I'll go to 2-1 for this example here. That's not 2-1. Alrighty.
Luigi time. Let's go.
So you might have. Hopefully I can perform this. You might have seen something like this be done in the any % run. Well, I just messed it up. But this right here. That obviously it gains a lot of momentum because you have the slope speed preserved from the pipe into this section. For some reason, edge boosts are more powerful than just crouch boosts alone, like this. When you do them off an edge, you gain slightly more speed than you would a regular one, and if you consecutively do multiple edge boosts, you can gain a lot of speed really quickly. So you'll see these a lot in individual level speedruns. You'll see them sometimes in RTA runs in the world record as of posting this video. Mostly because that's the ones that can somewhat be performed consistently. There's a lot more opportunities to add more edge boosts in to gain more speed, but they don't save that much time, or maybe not even a second or just a few seconds, and they're not consistent enough to just go for it, and they're generally high risk most of the time. So you don't see these a lot in full game runs or RTA runs, but you will see them a lot in IL runs. And you'll often see them pause buffered. Obviously this is an example of pause buffering here. I need to hold on, E-line myself up for one real quick. Okay, you see what I mean. Just watch any of the Luigi Masters ILs, I'm sure you'll find one rather quickly. You can see them pause buffered. Now obviously you don't really want to do that in RTA runs, mostly because they would waste more time. In ILs, they don't count towards the time because it's the in-game timer, which for some reason runs at a 45 frame rule and not a 60 frame rule, so it counts 1 second every 0.75 seconds for some reason, so that's a little weird. Just some random knowledge. So there's not much to them. You want to probably practice a lot of them, because at first you will be long jumping and ground pounding a lot when you first try them out. I would recommend 5-4 as your little playground to practice them, since they can be done very easily there, and there's a good amount of slopes to practice them too. They can be done with any character. Luigi and Peach are the best characters to crouch boost with, mostly because with Luigi's jump here, you can consecutively do them a lot, especially in tighter spaces. In more open spaces, you want to try to gain a good amount of distance before performing another. But in tighter areas, you can, where you're as Luigi, you can do them more consecutively. Now Mario's crouch boosts are average, just like he is as a character. He's not really useful in speedruns in any way, though. Luigi is better for more consecutive crouch boosts, and Peach is good for levels where you'll be moving a lot, like more open levels that have a lot of distance. Crouch boosts for Toad aren't the greatest, they're actually the worst in the game. But obviously we use him for levels where there's not much general complex movement. And of course, I mean, he can still crouch boost in games between. Rosalina actually has the best crouch boosts. And she has a pretty fluid jump too. But she doesn't get used a lot, and in most real-time runs, she's not even used at all because she's not unlocked yet. That's pretty much it. You'll want to be practicing them a lot. Not much else to say. I will be, now, there is some misconceptions with this. You don't want to do this. Okay? Do not do this. Hold on. I'm not doing it. I'm not showing the example correctly. You do not want to do this. Okay, that's a little close there. You do not want to do cat momentum in between each of them. Because cat momentum sets your speed. Because what cat momentum does is the scratch and then the jump preserves the speed from a dive, and it sets it to that. And the crouch boost there is just only adding on to it, but if you keep on performing that, you'll be staying at that speed and never actually gaining consecutive speed like this. Oh, I'm forgetting very much. So just to clear that up, if you were confused by that at first, I was actually like that, so I'm pointing that out just so you aren't if you're wanting to learn this mechanic. Now obviously I wouldn't want to go for these in real-time runs right away, especially if you're not very consistent with them. You just stick with cat momentum as it is. It's a good mechanic. But if you're getting to a level and you want to do ILs, or you just want to save a pretty good amount of time in your real-time runs, then you can go ahead and learn crouch boosts and practice them. They don't actually, they save somewhere around like a minute and a half approximately. I don't know how much in any percent, and a good amount in 243, maybe about 4 minutes, and then 380 they save maybe like 10 minutes. I don't know. Actually, no, not 10 minutes. More like 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know how I overstated that, but you just want to practice them a lot. That's pretty much how you're going to get good at any complex trick in any speed game whatsoever. This one is no different. So hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you can make good use of this. I'll see y'all around.